Good. Now, my number one goodie is this. You got to have a strong opener, a big opener. Bam. It doesn't have to be outrageous, doesn't have to be crazy, bombastic like that. But the idea is it has to be strong. You have to catch the attention real fast. You really only have one shot at this. People are going to tune in or they're going to tune out. And if you don't get them at first, you might not get them till the end. So you want to capture their attention. I found there's two flavors of this that I like best. The question and the claim. The question is real civilized. It's kind of polite. It's a thoughtful question, get them to thinking, to provoke thought. You go like, how many of us, do you, blah, 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 you know what I mean? You engage them on topic or an analogy, like do you like barbecue, that sort of thing. The claim, that's something different. That's a factoid, it's a piece of data, it's an information. It needs to be precise, it needs to be relevant, it needs to be verifiable, it needs to be a real number. What was we hear sometimes 87% of statistics are made up or something like that. You want to put a real number down. Now let's look at a sample of each. This is for the cabling class, EE 607, I think. Suppose I'm talking about networking, cabling, and all that, and I ask a question. I pop up the slide and say, how many of us have been bitten by the cable bug? I mean the cable snake. That's a snake, right? The cable snake. And we go, oh. I say, how many of us have just tried to get our work done but couldn't because of a bad cable, broken connection, missing cable, something wrong with the switch. We just can't get connected to the network. It's real frustrating. We've got to get our work done. Have you suffered from that? And they go, yeah. Well, then we've all been bitten by the cable snake. Let's talk about how not to get bitten by the cable snake. And they go, yeah, okay, good. Let's do that. Well, now I've got your attention. I ask a question, a legitimate question. It doesn't have to be serious, it doesn't have to be fun. You gauge, the appropriateness of the question. Let's look at a claim now. We just use this in 612. 44,000, 98,000. The United States government knows that at least 44,000 people will die this year because of medical errors, mistakes. They think the number could be as high as 98,000, but they're not sure. Now, 44,000 is a problem. 98,000 is a bigger problem. The fact that they don't know where in this broad range of uncertainty the number really is, that's a bigger problem still. And then you offer a possible solution. You see, I'm bringing in real numbers. In this case, I should have put the source of the data. I do recommend citing the source of your information because if you have to say it, according to the blah, 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 you've weakened that punch. Just stick it there. People get it. They see it. They know it's for real. They can go find it. You just say it, and it's got that big impact. Let's see, you can use both of them. Let's see how you can combine the two. This is for, say, software requirements. I want to talk about software. So I say, how many of us have ever written, in fact, I'll just ask you, have you ever written software requirements, use cases, use case diagrams, had to write specifications on what a product should do or feature should do using screenshots or text? Anybody? Mm-hmm. Right? How many of us as developers have had to read those to create software? Right? How many of us ever get it really right the first time? How many of us, when we approach that subject, ever feel like this? Huh? Well, communicating well on these software requirements, doing this well, is a challenge. And the cost of doing it wrong is really high. In fact, 21% of the cost, a typical cost today, of a typical software project is from rework. A full fifth of the cost we're spending by doing things over and over again. And that's particularly caused by bad requirements. Missing requirements, incomplete requirements, misstated requirements, misunderstood requirements. We have smart people all over the world doing requirements. We've been doing it for years, and this is the best we can do. Why is it so hard to tell this person what this thing is supposed to do? That's my question. And then I would move on and say, well, I got an answer, that sort of thing, and you're off to the races. Do you see what we're doing? We try to engage. I practice in front of my daughter. She gives me a reality check. I did one time, and I said, and we will not be one of the 78%. Way over the top. She said, Dad, tone it down. Yeah. you may be, it may feel like you're play acting in a sense, and kind of you are. You know, when I started doing this, I thought, it's kind of like, it's a rehearsed little bit, and then pretty soon you get more comfortable with it. It becomes sort of part of you. And you go, okay, yeah, there's some, I like this. Anyway, so if you maybe like putting on a new coat or a bright pair of shoes, you know, that are in style, but you're not comfortable with them yet. You think everybody's looking at my shoes. Then you get used to them, and you really feel good. You know, you really feel great in those shoes. Okay, now, I call this the lame claim. We're going to improve it. We're going to start. How many of us have done this? My topic today is about drunk driving. It's kind of, how about this? I'd like to talk to you today about drunk driving. We hear that a lot, right? This is what I intend to do. Let's improve it a little bit more. I say, drunk driving is a problem. Okay, now that's kind of a claim, right? But it's not precise. It's not specific. What about this? 306 children died last year. They were killed by drunk drivers. I mean, I had to turn the slide off. I got teary when I first practiced this. I went, oh, gosh. The idea is this. It's precise. I got it from the Department of Transportation. And this has an emotional impact. You know, it's kind of over the top, children. But the idea is that if you want emotional impact, and I'm exaggerating in this case to get it, you can hit something home. Why not open? If you're going big, go big. Now let's leave this before. Now, the mystery meat, let's go. But let's practice. That is meat. I asked my son, can you tell what that is? Can you tell if that's meat? And he said, yeah, you told me what it was. Let's practice. Okay, anybody, we're going to pick a topic, and then we're going to create an opener, a question, and then we're going to create a claim as an opener, just to kind of see how it works. Any idea? Nothing's out of bounds, more or less. Anybody got good ideas? Random. Shoes. Okay, good. Shoes. Let's talk about question. Now, usually you want an angle, like want to refine it. Shoes. We could do anything like.
Do your feet hurt?
Okay, that's a good question. Okay, let's talk about the comfort of shoes and all that. So you say it again. That was good.
Do your feet hurt?
Yeah. Okay, good. You got me, you know, so that's a great question. Yeah, I believe you. Yeah, what's next? So that's ideal. Okay, let's make a claim. It can be bogus, but just a claim. A statistic about shoes. Maybe
10% of back problems come from unsupportive shoes.
There you go. Gosh, thanks. Excellent. Let's give me that. Good. I see there, and I go, really? Yeah, that's right. In fact, and you start moving on into the presentation. You got them. It was a claim or a question, but we've narrowed people's focus into what we're talking about. Now we're all together. That's the value there.